You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Vegas. It's rock. It's dogs. It's Vegas Rock Dog Radio. A rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. Stand by for great guests and cool advice. All in one rockin' hour. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. That's 702-483-4444. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, and we are broadcasting live from sunny Las Vegas. Rarely do we get a day where the sun's not shining, but it's a beautiful day today. I'm really excited for a couple of reasons. One, my husband comes home. He's been gone for a week. He went back to Pittsburgh to celebrate his mom's 80th birthday and threatened to bring his brother's dog back with him because he feels like he could give the dog a lot more time and attention, which I believe. So I have no idea if he has a 4-pound Pomeranian with him or not. Her name's Fifi. So... but I don't name my dogs those kind of names. I name my dogs after English chocolate bars. So I've got Galaxy and I've got Thornton. They're actually my favourite chocolate that you can get in England. And if you're British and you live in the States, we get very excited, don't we, when we get our English chocolate, because I can't be dealing with this Hershey's stuff. I wouldn't even bake with that. It's low level. It's horrible. Chris, I need to educate you in the way of chocolate. I will bring you some nice British chocolate in. Anyway, I digress. So my husband may show up with a dog. Who knows? We'll see. But it would be exciting if he did. And I've got a great guest in studio today. But before I actually tell you who that is, I'm going to tell you how you're going to find our show online. So, a lot of areas you can find us. The VegasRockDogRadio.com website covers all of our links, our guests, our photographs, you name it. We've got it going on that website. Our Ustream. Oh, I might remember to actually start the Ustream. That might help. And you can probably see my guest hiding there behind the microphone. So our Ustream is, go to Ustream.tv and you'll find Vegas Rock Dog is our actual profile. And then there are two shows, Hot Diggity Dog Radio Show, which is the old show, and Vegas Rock Dog Radio, which is the new show. So all the shows are still archived on there. So if you want to actually, watch the show, that's great. Our show is brought to you live from VegasAllNetRadio.com, and you can go straight to their website and find our page. And once you actually hit our page, if you scroll down, you'll see all the links for our sponsors, and you'll also see all of our archive shows. Facebook is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Twitter is Vegas Rock Dog Show. No W at the end. So think about for show. That's slang way of saying it. So that's Vegas Rock Dog Show. Our call-in number is 702-483-4444. And that is a Vegas exchange. And what else do we want to tell you? Oh, Instagram. I tend to post more personal pictures, but just believe it's just going to be a million pictures of dogs doing, sleeping on various beds and doing fun things. But it's more of a personal account there, but you can come over and find us. And if you want to buy Vegas Rock Dog clothing, you can go to VegasRockDog.com. And the last link is, I write a blog too. It's the rockandrolldog.com. And that is the rock with an N, rolldog.com. So let me tell you about my guest. My guest information kind of disappeared a little bit, but it's a good job. Read up about my lovely guest here. So today I have in studio Keith Williams, and Keith Williams is the director and founder?
Correct.
Director and founder of the Community Cat Coalition of Clark County, commonly known as C5. So that's the 5 C's, isn't it?
It is C5.
Clever.
5 C's.
It's very clever. You know why? There's nothing worse than the website address that is the Community Cat Coalition of Clark County. That would be a long address to type in, wouldn't it, Keith?
Yes, it would.
So it looks like my Google Drive just kind of went to sleep a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we don't have much of a internet connection. Anyway, so I digress. So here we go. So today we're talking about cats. I do not own a cat because my husband is very allergic to cats. But I have lots and lots of friends who love cats, rescue cats, do all kinds of great things with cats. So what we're talking about today is this amazing and unique program that we have here in town that Keith put together. Well, it's your organization you put together first, you know. Did you work with cats before you put C5 together?
Yes, I did. Like a lot of us, my wife and I had cats wandering around the yard outside. And after a couple litters of kittens, we decided we didn't need hundreds of cats wandering around outside. And we hooked up with our local vet and some of the local nonprofit groups, and did what's called trap, neuter, return with our group of cats.
Okay, now how many were there when you originally started this that you were, looking after?
We ended up with about 20.
Oh, that's a lot.
And oh yes, and I'm happy to say we've had no kittens in our colony of cats in it's been about 8 years now.
That's amazing. So we're going to tell people how this happened.
Yes, we will.
Because you just didn't, poof some magic and go, okay, no kittens. We all know that cats obviously, have a lot more young when they get pregnant than dogs do. So I think that amplifies the overpopulation that we have of cats. How many do you think there are in Clark County right now?
Well, it's hard to tell for sure, but the best estimates are there are between 200,000 and 300,000 free-roaming, unowned cats in the Las Vegas Valley at this time.
That's a lot of cats.
That is a lot of cats.
Now, Clark County, we don't cover Pahrump. They're Nye County, correct?
Pahrump is Nye County. Indian Springs is Clark County, all the way down to state line.
So it really it's a big area.
It's a big area. Our primary operating area is in the Las Vegas Valley. Just for some logistical reasons, it's kind of hard to get our volunteers to go to Caliente and places.
I've never been there myself, not even for a cat. So you are covering a big area. Now, how many are there in the organization? Actually, like you say, you go out in the trenches. It's not the most glamorous of jobs.
No, in C5 we have, I believe, 45 volunteers. We have trappers, obviously, get out, help people get their cats in their yards trapped and spayed and neutered and vaccinated. We have our phone volunteers. We have what we call our staging volunteers.
I was reading about them. And they stage before they actually get fixed, correct?
Once the cats are trapped, we quite often will have to hold them for a day or two before surgery. And then, of course, after surgery, they need to be held for a couple of days.
Right.
And we have some amazing volunteers who go in and change paper, feed and water, keep these cats clean and healthy.
Nice.
for those several days that they're being held.
Yeah, because, anytime you've had any kind of a surgery, it's risky, isn't it? So you do have to have that in place. How many people would you say in total are you working with?
As far as colony caretakers go?
People that do anything and everything for your organization.
That's kind of hard to answer. If you drill all the way down to the individual colony caretaker level,
right?
We're looking at well over 1,000.
That's amazing.
And these are people, we've gone out and helped them trap their cats, and they're not necessarily people we deal with on a daily basis,
right.
but they're people who we've reached out and touched.
That's incredible. How do the traps work? 'Cause I know some people get a bit freaked out, the word trap, like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do with them? And do people think about a clamp trap? I don't know why.
No, these are exactly not what you think of as your classic leg hole trap.
Yeah.
They're a wire cage trap that's, the ones we use are about 30 inches long and about 9 inches wide and 9 inches tall. And they have an automatic door on one end, so you put food inside,
right.
and when the cat goes inside, it automatically closes
down.
And then we cover the cat up and take it away, and it stays in that trap until it's knocked out for surgery.
Right.
And then as soon as it's done with surgery, it goes back in the trap.
I mean, because you think about it, and particularly if it's like a feral cat, you know, it's not used to being around human beings and those kind of things. You're not picking up a domesticated little kitten that's purring at you, you know what I mean? It's a different situation for this cat being trapped.
And interestingly enough, these cats are much more comfortable, much safer inside of this small trap.
Yeah.
In our early days, we made a lot of mistakes. One of the
Do you know what? I love the fact that you just said it. I mean, because it's how we learn, isn't it? By admitting, oh gosh, that was a good football.
And one of the mistakes that we only made about once was to try to take one of these feral cats and put it in like a large crate. Oh, let's give it some elbow room.
Did it go crazy in there?
It goes absolutely crazy.
Too much space to try and get out.
And because there's two things these cats want to do when they're confined. They want to hide. You know, they feel like they might be in danger, so they want to hide, and they want to get away.
Yeah.
So if they're in this small trap, they're in a secure space, and if you cover them so they can't see out,
it's less stressful.
They assume that they can't be seen, and they're hiding.
Oh my! I should try that more often. Cover my head.
That works.
No one can see me. But you know, isn't that an incredible instinct?
It is.
That's amazing. It's survival.
Yeah. You know, you learn what works for the cats.
Yeah.
It's not about what works for us. It's about what works for the cats.
I love that, because I think that's kind of what rescue is about, and your program is. It's not about us. It's about them. You know. But I think that's amazing. I think a lot of people just think trap, and there are two more parts to the actual program, and they're not just trapping cats for the sake of trapping cats. You know, this is for a very, very good reason. And so the next step is they then get fixed.
Correct. We have partnered with the Heaven Can Wait high volume low cost spay neuter clinic.
Yeah, what do they charge these days for that surgery?
For a feral cat, for a free roaming unowned cat, they charge $30.
Oh, that's nothing.
Male or female.
That is peanuts.
Oh yes, quite reasonable. And since we bring in so many, we do get a volume discount. But you know, your average person off the street, it's $30 for the surgery,
right?
And that includes rabies shot,
wow.
And that's an absolutely vital part to what we're doing.
Definitely.
Is the rabies vaccine, a 3-in-1 to deal with some of the upper respiratory issues. And we also do what's called ear tipping.
Now, I did read about this, and I read that they've done a lot of different kind of methods till people selected this is the method that works the best for us. So will you tell our listeners what ear tipping is and why it's so important?
Well, ear tipping is the internationally recognized sign that cat has been sterilized. And here it indicates it's gotten a rabies vaccine. What they'll do is while the cat's under anesthetic having its surgery done, they'll cut about 1/4 of an inch off the tip of, it's supposed to be the right ear. Occasionally a left one gets done.
Okay.
And it's just a flat, blunt cut,
right.
1/4 inch off the tip of the ear.
Right.
It's sort of like getting your ear pierced. You know,
right.
It doesn't bother
we
the
do
cat
worse things to ourselves.
We do much worse things to ourselves. And it identifies that cat, like I said, as having been sterilized. And under our managed feral cat colony ordinances, when from unincorporated Clark County or the city of Las Vegas, cats that go into our shelter, the Animal Foundation facility, the ear-tipped cats from those two jurisdictions are reported to me.
Oh, okay.
And if I can identify the registered colony that cat came from,
right,
I call that colony caretaker and say, "You missing a cat?"
Oh my gosh!
And they are allowed to go to the shelter, retrieve that cat with no impound fees.
Great.
And return it to their feral colony.
Back to their colony. Now, what we'll do is we'll take a break in a couple of minutes because we're going to talk about cat colony after the break. But I want to finish off, what you do with your, before you release them. I'd read that there'd been some other methods attempted before, not here in Vegas, but tattooing a cat. But I guess from a distance, how can you even recognize a cat whether it's been part of the program if it doesn't have a tipped ear?
Yeah, that's the importance of a clearly visible sign. A number of our trappers have their binoculars, and you got to have your trapper flashlight of good bright flashlight so you can
see and identify.
And a tattoo, a microchip, those are all great, but when you're in the field and when you're in a shelter situation, you need to be able to positively identify that cat.
And I think it makes your time more efficient, doesn't it? Your use of your time
makes the time much more efficient.
Because you don't want to be picking up cats, taking them in, scanning them for a chip, and going, oh, they've been fixed already. What a waste of resources.
Absolutely.
People.
Resources are always tight. No one's ever going to have enough resources.
No.
So our program is built as basically an industrial scale, incredibly efficient trap, neuter, return machine.
It's amazing.
And we do almost 5,000 animals a year. We've just passed our 16,000th cat trapped and sterilized.
Yeah, that's not a typo. That is not an autocorrect. That was 15. It's 15,000, but 16,000, because that's just growing rapidly, isn't it? So from the beginning of the program to now, how quickly would you say? Like, was it slow in the beginning, the changes, or did you start seeing results pretty quick?
The changes in the beginning were fairly slow, but once we started seeing changes and picking up steam, it is accelerating. We're seeing significant changes in the shelter admission numbers and the shelter euthanasia numbers. Like I said, the ordinance was passed in the county in 2008, and as of the end of last year, the shelter admission rate for stray cats has dropped 40%.
That's a huge amount.
Almost half. We should actually hit the 50% reduction point about the middle of this year, and we should be in the neighborhood of 60% reduction by the end of this year.
Well, like you were saying, you love your data. So
I love my data.
Your predictions are down, and I love that because it's just something to really look forward to. You're like, oh yeah, of course we're going to meet that goal. We're going to get there because this makes sense. It's working, and it's proven that it's working. Now, is the Trap Neuter Return program, is that a national program? Because I see other cities have them.
It is being done actually worldwide.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
It's in your home country in England. It's in fact they were probably one of the first to start doing this.
Really. And
places where it's done, on a sufficient scale, it's working fantastically.
Well, I think a big part of it is just committing. Saying this is what we're going to do, and we do our very, very best. And I think that's, where results come in.
And that's exactly what it's about. It's about deciding what you want to do, what you want to make happen, and having the commitment and applying the resources to make it work.
And I think it's also fostering a good relationship. Because you know how people are with cats, Oh, they love that domesticated cat, but you talk about feral cat. Oh, I got to get rid of that feral cat. And it's not what you're doing. You're just saying we respect these animals. They get to live, roam freely if they want to, but we do it in a way that they won't have a lot of litters, or won't have any litters, so we won't be contributing to the problem, but they get to live in their own environment.
No, the whole point of the whole program is, in the long run, we want to have many fewer free-roaming cats.
Yeah.
We want to have less problems with the cats, less of a nuisance behavior. Nobody wants more free-roaming unowned cats.
No, and like we were talking before we even started the show, because of our climate, cats have more litters.
Oh, yes. We have amazing reproduction potential here.
Isn't that? You just don't think of those things. So obviously our problem, and anyone in a warm climate, is facing a bigger problem than a colder climate.
Yes. We have almost the perfect environment for breeding free-roaming cats here. We have about a 9-month kitten season.
It's a lot.
And at the clinic, we're just now starting to see female cats in heat, which means in a month or so, we'll be waiting in pregnant cats, and in a couple of months, we'll be waiting in newborn kittens.
And what's the number you're expecting in spring, then, to be born?
We expect about 400,000 kittens to be born.
They're hard numbers to get your head around, aren't they, really?
They are, and one of the big tragedies of this whole situation is, that's an incredible number of animals. The sad thing is that 50% of those don't survive 2 months, and 90% of those don't see their first birthday.
Oh, you see, that's tragic in itself, isn't it?
And so, by sterilizing these animals, the cats are healthier, the neighbors are happier, and this senseless tragedy of these, hundreds of thousands of deaths is stopped.
And it's avoided. I think it's amazing. Well, listen, Chris, I think we'll take a quick break, because when we come back, we'll talk about how they get released back to their homes, and we're going to talk about colonies. If you don't know about colonies, you're going to find this really interesting. So we'll be right back. We're going to listen to some words from our sponsors.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Swipe It's a revolutionary new product that literally swipes away cat hair from virtually any surface. Most of us struggle with a roller or vacuum cleaner to clean up cat hair, but anyone who has tried either of these knows they just don't work very well. But Swipe It's patent-pending glove has a magnetic-like quality that removes cat hair from almost everything. And best of all, Swipe It's is machine washable, so you can use it over and over again. To order, just visit swipeits.com. That's SWIPETS. A simple solution for shedding.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Werber from Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff here on Pet Life Radio. We want to hear from you. Listen in. We're on every Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time here on PetLifeRadio.com. We are here for you. We're trying to make life with your pets even better. I know that's hard to believe. It can't even be better than it is, and hopefully it's fantastic already. The goal here is to answer your questions, help you out with your problems, anything you really wanted to know, but maybe you're afraid to ask your veterinarian, or maybe it was just too expensive to go to your veterinarian just to ask a few simple things. So that's what you got me for here at Pet Life Radio. Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. Call in. We'll see you here on Thursdays.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Now, let's return to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Here again, your host, the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
All right, and we're back. You're listening to Sam. That's me, the queen of rock and roll dogs, with Vegas Rock Dog Radio. If you're watching us on Ustream, I don't have technical difficulties. I just don't have my interface for my Ustream. So when it comes to the commercials, I'm pausing the actual Ustream because you don't need to hear me yakking on during the commercial break. So we're back. We're rebroadcasting. So we are up and running, and we're going to fix that soon because I'm getting some new equipment. I'm pretty excited about that. So let me tell you about my guest who's in studio. If you're just listening in, we've got Keith Williams here of the Community Cat Coalition of Clark County, where he has a very, very important program that's making a big difference in Clark County with the TNR program. That is Trap, Neuter, Release program. So what we talked about before the break was obviously how they trap the cats, and it's humane. It's not horrible. And once they bring them into that facility, they're fixed. And then how do you release them?
Well, we release the cats back exactly where we trapped them.
Mm-hmm. So it's familiar territory.
It's actually a return rather than simply release.
Right.
We work with colony caretakers, people who are already feeding the cats, who want to have the cats around, but just want to get out of the kitten business.
Right.
So what our trappers will do is, they coordinate with this colony caretaker. They come in with traps, get all the cats trapped, and the vast majority of the time, the colony caretaker is right there when the cats are released, Basically, oh, there's Fluffy.
There's my cat. Oh, so obviously they would do, wouldn't they?
All of us colony caretakers name our cats.
So if you don't know what a colony caretaker is, and if you're actually looking after a bunch of free-roaming cats, and there's people that will criticize you for that, that's for sure. You are allowed to register your colony. So we're going to tell you all about that. And, and then people can still call you the crazy cat lady. You can say, nope, I got my official colony of cats. So tell people about the actual caretaker's responsibility.
Well, as the colony caretaker, your responsibility is basically what you're already doing, feeding and watering the cats.
Right.
In addition to that, under the ordinances, you are expected to get those cats sterilized, trap, neuter, and return them. And they're, along with C5, there's some other nonprofits that can help you with that.
Okay, so it's not something you would necessarily have to pay for yourself?
No, no, that's what the nonprofits bring to the table, is the resources to do that. The C5 is an all-volunteer, all-donation-driven organization. We do not charge the people that we trap cats for.
That's impressive. So if you're scared to kind of come forward, you don't need to.
No.
You're not going to get arrested because you've got a cat colony, but you can actually do it in a legal way, which is great.
It can be done legally. One of my other roles, actually my first role in this, was as the central sponsor for these managed feral cat colonies. That's a role with the county of Clark County and also with the city of Las Vegas.
Right.
I'm the person that you register these colonies with.
Okay.
And that's one of the few county records that are confidential.
Oh.
That information does not go to animal control.
Oh.
It doesn't go to the police. It comes to me.
I like
Period.
that. Then you just feel more secure about what you're doing.
And there are situations. If animal control wants to know if a group of cats is a registered colony, they have to come to me.
They come to you first.
And I either say, yes, it is. What's the problem? It's my problem
I'll
now.
take care
Don't
of
you
it.
worry about it.
Right.
Or if I say, no, it's not. And those two animal control jurisdictions are very supportive of these ordinances.
I love it.
And they'll go knock on the door and say, you got a bunch of cats here. Here's some options.
Great.
Call this guy.
Yep.
Talk about getting them all spayed and neutered and registered. Or,
we'll help you out with that.
And we'll help you out with that.
I think that's really, really good because I think it's about trying to be cohesive.
It is.
No one needs a fight on their hands about anything. But like you were saying earlier today, before we got on the air, sometimes you'll have someone who loves the cats in one house and the neighbor doesn't like the cats. So how do you fix that between two differing neighbors? One loves the cats they're looking after, and one can't stand them.
Well, 99% of the time that doesn't happen.
I can't imagine it's
Fortunately.
huge. Yeah, because you'd be a busy man.
And this is an area where there's actually a conflict in the laws.
Oh.
Between you as a property owner, you have a right to manage the feral, nuisance cats by trapping them and having them removed.
Okay.
And under the TNR ordinances, you have the opportunity to manage those same cats by doing trap, neuter, and return.
Don't you love laws?
Oh, yes.
You're like, thanks for that problem.
And it's a challenge, but it's not a bad thing. And so my role as the central sponsor side of the house is to try to mediate and negotiate and try to sort those situations out without, obviously without having the cats removed.
Right.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When you get right down to the brass tacks, it is a basic property rights issue.
All right. Okay, so that would supersede them, pretty much.
You as a property owner,
Okay.
once again, have the right to not have your property taken and used for something that you don't approve of.
Right. Okay. So
I can't force you to have these cats on your property.
Right.
I can work with you. We can
Yes.
do everything we can. But as a property owner, when it really gets down to the nuts and bolts, you do have the right to trap and remove nuisance cats.
Okay. And the thing is, it's done in a humane way.
And it's also done in a humane way.
Now, do you ever return them? Not return them, but release them to a different area, if that is the case?
Almost never.
Okay.
The process of relocating cats to a new location involves keeping them in a pen for about 6 weeks so that they're absolutely
Like desensitized to where they came from?
they know where they are, where they know this is their new home.
Okay.
And it involves, like I said, penning them up for about 6 weeks, making sure they've got food and water and a caretaker at the new location.
Right.
We do this, but very, very, very rarely.
Because it's quite a big change, isn't it, from a cat that's not familiar with his new place?
It is quite a big change. There are a couple of groups in town that have what they call their barn cat programs.
Okay.
Where cats are relocated to rural, agricultural barns, horse property and things. But once again, this is such a tiny, tiny portion we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of animals, and only a handful is there someplace to relocate them to.
Right.
So in practical terms, the answer is no. The cats get returned to where they came from.
To where they came from.
But, there are, like I said, just an incredibly small number of desperate situations where we can relocate.
Well, I'm glad that is low. I mean, like for me, I know I have a feral cat at the back of my house. My dogs bark at it once in a while. It's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think once people would know that, hey, that cat, I have to check its ears now. Next time I'm going to get these binoculars out and see if this cat's been fixed. But I think once you know that there's not going to be a litter of, kittens, you know what I mean, at the back of my house, because they have actually been part of the program, I think that makes it a little bit easier to live with them, really.
And once the cats are all sterilized, a lot of the breeding behavior stuff, the fighting, the spraying, the calling, of course, kittens under the bushes.
Yep.
A tremendous amount of the nuisance behavior goes away.
Oh, you see, so there's so many benefits to this program.
And in the long run, the mortality rate for cats is, they only live so long.
Right.
And when you're not producing more kittens, that normal mortality takes its toll, and the number of cats just continues to drop off.
Right. So I would say for anyone that's struggling with having feral cats, and one, you don't know what to do, is definitely, like say, maybe it's just some of the behaviors that bother you, definitely have them as part of the program, because some of those things are going to disappear anyway, and kind of live a bit more harmoniously,
Oh, yes.
So if it's not bothering me, like, what's the big deal, And I think people forget that, there are free roaming cats in the world. It's just normal, And I think people want to fully control that, which is kind of sad, really,
Well, it's, fundamentally, we have far too many free roaming cats. There's no doubt about that.
With our fabulous weather that we talk about all the time, not helping us.
Everybody agrees with that. The wildlife loving people, the birders, everybody, the cat lovers, everybody agrees there's too many.
Yeah, they agree.
And it's about bringing the resources to the table to most efficiently manage the cats and reduce the numbers and reduce the problems with them.
Reduce the problems that go along with it. Now, there are some benefits to free roaming cats. And I'd asked you if it was true that, having a feral cat in your neighborhood, does that control other cats coming in, or,
It does. These cats they're social, they're territorial. They tend to keep outsiders pushed away. So if your colony is established, all sterilized, you very rarely will have a newcomer move in.
Okay, so it's not. So if that's a fear of yours, like, oh my gosh, these cats, it's just going to grow. They're all going to show up, because there's one colony. You don't really have much of that fear to have a concern about that.
New cats, like I said, will move in occasionally. But for the most part, these groups are fairly stable.
And they stay as they are, and, you don't have to have that worry about, oh my gosh, this is going to grow and grow and grow.
And one of the benefits to having a registered colony and working with one of the nonprofits and having that relationship is, we've TNR'd well over 1,000 locations.
Oh, wow.
And every one of those colony caretakers have been instructed, if you see a new face that's not ear-tipped, call us. Send us an email. The way our trappers work is they develop a relationship with the caretaker that they've trapped for.
I see.
And we try to keep that relationship going, and that caretaker will go back out and trap the newcomers, too.
I see. I just see so many pluses with this program. I mean, and the results are there too. So it just sounds like it's just a solid program that works, and and the results are getting better and better anyway over time. And I think the more people that know about that, I mean, surely if I had this issue and I go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Now I've got a resource. So what's your website?
Well, our website is www.c5-tnr.org. That's letter C, number 5, dash T as in trap, N as in neuter, R as in return, .org.
And all these links are going to pop up anyway on our Facebook page. So they'll always be there, and you'll be able to grab this information. I think it helps a lot of people. I think it helps people who are not too keen on the cats being in their backyard. I think it helps a lot of people that love cats who are looking after some cats currently, that now, you don't have to hide the fact that you're looking after these cats, because I'm sure a lot of people have to feel like they kind of have to do it sneakily. No one needs to see me feeding these cats because they're going to get mad at me. But if you're the caretaker for the colony, then you've got to feel a lot more comfortable about that.
And that's the purpose of the managed feral cat colony ordinances, is to allow people to feel more comfortable about doing it and come out and allow the nonprofits to get in and help them and make the whole system work better.
So what other nonprofits are you working with? I know you work with Heaven Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait. Las Vegas Valley Humane Society is our other big partner.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I have a very good working relationship with the Animal Foundation, the folks that run the lead shelter.
That's amazing.
They, like I said, the ear-tip cats that go into their facility from my jurisdictions are passed over to me. And, I visit with their admission folks and go down to pick up cats and send people down to pick up cats.
It's great.
The Animal Foundation, they're between a rock and a hard place. They as an open admission municipal shelter, they have to do what they have to do. But, they don't want to be euthanizing animals. They don't want to be having to take all these animals in.
Now, do you get any cats in, like say you've trapped some cats and you bring them into your facility? I'm assuming you may get some cats that are really, really ill. Do you have to sometimes euthanize them? We do. Our our feral cat population is amazingly healthy. Oh, that's incredible.
However, even nationwide and here, about 1%, a little bit less than 1% of the cats that we trapped are either sick, injured, got some kind of issue where they're just not going to survive.
Right.
And the vets that we work with have the ultimate say. If it's just not humane to
release
put this cat
them
back out, they are humanely euthanized. Now, once again, that's less than 1%.
What are common cat diseases that you would see though in that 1%?
The big player is really upper respiratory infections.
Okay.
Basically snotty noses, pneumonia kind of things.
I see.
And to a lesser extent, you're looking at FIP.
What's FIP?
Don't ask me to. It's a viral infection.
Okay.
That is, it'll take a cat down pretty quick.
Oh wow! And how do they get that? Is it airborne? Is it? Or from other?
FIP is a coronavirus. I'm trying to remember what I know about it. I believe it's passed from cat to cat.
Oh, from cat to cat. Okay.
And the other issues are your feline AIDS and leukemia.
Yeah. Gosh, that's sad, isn't it?
And but once again, these are very small percentages.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the incidences of these diseases in the feral cats versus owned pets, it's virtually identical.
Huh? Isn't that interesting?
And several of these diseases are passed by biting and scratching.
I see.
And once these animals are sterilized, they don't do that anymore to speak of.
Right, so then that eliminates that too.
So the vectors for transmitting those diseases are much less.
Gosh, there's just so many pluses to this program. It's just quite incredible. Do you get to go on TV much and talk about this?
Not a lot. On occasion I do.
Oh, I think you need to get on telly, as you say in England. Because I just think the more people that know, it's always about awareness anyway, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Whatever we're trying to do with animals these days.
And one of our catch-22 kind of things is, we want to spread the word about what we're doing and get more cats to trap. But on the flip side of that, our poor long-suffering volunteers are so overloaded. We need more boots on the ground.
What's it take to
traps too?
What is a typical trapper going to do, and what do they need to expect if they want to step up and volunteer for this?
Well, the way we work the projects is, people will call or email, say, "Hey, I got cats, I need help," and we have the phone volunteers who call, gather the details, and then it goes in what's called our trapping queue. That's our list of projects.
Okay.
And our volunteer trappers, I send that out to them. They see a project they like the looks of. I send them all the details. And then they'll call that person and say, "Hey, I'm from C5. I'm here to help you.
I'm your guy. I'm here to help you." They're the best words ever.
Find out how many cats they have, and then they'll check out traps from our inventory. They'll work with that person, get all the cats trapped, get them to the clinic, or get them to us where we stage the cats and get them to the clinic. Then when it's time to release the cats, they haul them back and release them.
Now, what's the craziest location you've ever had to go to drop a cat?
Well, there have been some interesting situations.
Well, it is Vegas, and nothing's normal here anyway.
No, we have interestingly, we do have feral cat colonies actually on the Las Vegas Strip.
Really? Behind the hotels? Where the trash is?
Well, different places. That's one of the interesting things, because these properties obviously don't want to be flagged as someplace to go for irresponsible people to go dump cats.
Right.
So, we work with the property very low key. Their names are never published.
Right.
It's just...
That's kind of how we do our business here, though, isn't it? If it's related to tourism, trust me, not a lot gets out in the news if it's bad.
And, the vast majority of the places we trap, though, are residential, small businesses, people in their yards or around their businesses.
Right.
One of my favorite colonies that I've been involved with since almost the beginning was actually at one of the Buddhist temples in town. It's a monastery.
Really?
Monks live on site.
Where is that?
It's in North Las Vegas.
Huh.
And we went in several years ago, and they had a little issue with far too many cats, and they recognized it. But they have some sensitivities about euthanasia and pregnancies and things.
Right.
And so we went in and trapped almost 60 cats.
That's a lot.
In November, which is the month of the year when there's virtually no chance of any pregnancies.
Thank goodness.
got them all sterilized, brought back, and they've, in the last 4 years or so, I think they've had one litter of kittens.
What? That's incredible.
The number of cats is about half of what it was. Just normal mortality.
Yeah.
Something that the Buddhist sensibilities are perfectly fine with.
I have a friend who's a Rinpoche, and he lived in a cave for 7 years in Tibet. They have this...
These are very well fed, very well cared for, very loved cats.
And I can imagine that obviously their temperaments, being a lot better after they've been taken care of, you know what I mean, and they've been fixed.
These were all very, very mellow cats to start with.
Wow. I think that's incredible. That is amazing. I have a friend who's a Rinpoche. He's obviously from Tibet, and he comes into Boulder City to do a lot of Dharma talks and raise money for schools in Tibet. And he came to my house for dinner, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to cook him? So I just cooked English food, because you know what? If you've never eaten it, you don't know if it's bad or not. No. You're like, that's how it's meant to be. But he came bless my house, and the reason he was there is, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but the reason he was there was my husband's a professional musician, and they were recording basically backbeat music for his chants to be put on CD, to be sold to raise money for the schools in Tibet. So, and then he asked me if I could teach him how to dance like Michael Jackson. I have some amazing friends. He wears all the garb and everything. I'm like, so is your boss the Dalai Lama? He's like, yep. It's my boss, And it's kind of cool to go with him when he's dressed like that. People want to talk to him and everything.
Oh, yes.
But isn't that funny? Yeah, he wanted to know if I could teach him how to dance like Michael Jackson. And he did like my English food a lot. Well, maybe he was just being polite. Who knows,
Who knows?
Do you know what? If I was a cat, I think that's where I'd want to live. I'd want to live with Buddhists, definitely.
Well, the Buddhists are big on the reincarnation thing.
Yeah.
And interestingly, a pretty fair percentage of their cats are orange. And orange is a very significant color to them.
What are the chances of that?
I don't know.
To me, that's like a whole other world connection.
It is.
It was meant to be. It's not by accident.
And with the Buddhist philosophy of reincarnation, this cat might be your grandfather.
So you've got to look after that cat.
You have to look after
respect it.
And the the temple, the monastery grounds are considered a sanctuary.
Yeah.
So if they make their way there, they've
got it made.
But they're sterilized. They're not having kittens.
Yeah, they got it made that way.
They have to make that sacrifice.
You see, I'm going to come back as my dogs. They have the best life ever. I mean, come on, 10 dog beds. I mean, really.
Yeah. We've already decided we're coming back as our feral cats.
You've earned it. Trust me, you've earned it. And there's definitely a place for you in heaven. That's for sure. So, Chris, do we need to take another break or not? We do. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're going to wrap up the show, tell you about some events and fundraising that's going on and all that good stuff. So you listen to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Tim Link, animal communicator and pet expert and host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have you ever wanted to know what your pet is really thinking? Do you want to find out if they truly understand what you're trying to tell them? Ever wish you could build a better understanding and closer relationship with your pet? Well, now you can. Learning to communicate with animals is a 4-part on-demand workshop. In the workshop, you'll learn the essential techniques that are necessary to communicate with animals, including what is animal communication, breathing correctly to achieve the perfect state to communicate with your animals at a deeper level, using guided meditation exercises and method to communicate with animals, and how to send and receive information from your animals. So if you're wanting to learn how to communicate and connect with your animals at a deeper level, visit PetLifeRadio.com/workshop and purchase and download Learning to Communicate with Animals. You'll be glad you did.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right, but that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping from Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. This is Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Vegas Rock Dog Radio. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now let's bring back the host. Here is the rock and roll queen of dogs, Sam.
And we're back. I like how he says dogs. I mean, it's still not how I speak. But I love that. I love his voice. It's fantastic. So if you're just tuning in for the last part of the show, we've got all of 6 minutes. And this is where it goes really fast. And Chris, our producer, just starts, giving me, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And I start speaking faster and faster and faster. So I'm going to get all my info in before I have to speed it up. So my guest today in studio is Keith Williams of the Cat Coalition, Community Cat Coalition of Clark County. Don't ever try that if you've got a hangover, which I do not have today. But it's got a great program where they trap cats, where they neuter spay them, and they actually return them to their original colonies so that they can then no longer breed. They behave a lot better and less of a nuisance. And I think it's a brilliant program. So if you see a cat that's got an ear that's tipped, a little bit of the ear is missing on the top, preferably the right ear.
Supposed to be the right ear.
Supposed to be the right ear. Then you know that cat is fixed. So you have no worries about it having babies. So, and if you are fearful that, you've got a lot of cats going, give them a call. What's your website again?
C5-TNR.org.
And that's where you'll actually contact the organisation if you've got a problem, or you want to trap a cat, or you need them to come and help you out, or if you want to register your colony. I think there's so many pluses to this program. It's just impressive, and more people need to know about it. So please share the information as it pops up on Facebook. If you are trying to watch us on Ustream, well, it's just died, I think. Yeah, we seem to have lost connection over there. Always have issues with that. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so let's wrap up the rest of the show. We got 5 minutes. I wanted to actually mention All for Love Animal Society, allforloveanimalsociety.com. They have a lot of cats there for adoption, and the link for the entire cat adoption page is up there, so you can take a look at some of the cats that are available. And of course, we always like to thank our sponsors, because without them, this would be stupid. They make this show happen. And if you want to be a sponsor, just contact us in any of those links that we pop up on Facebook, or go to our website, vegasrockdogradio.com, and we can get you started. We'll record your commercial for you if you need that too, at no extra cost, or you can provide us with your commercial, and then we can give you the details. And of course, this show goes out worldwide, so it's a big audience, not just in Las Vegas. So events coming up. Actually, one that started at 8 a.m. this morning. Let me tell you something. Animal lovers, they give up all their free time to help animals. And the people that are doing that this morning are Doggy Do-Overs. They also own Printing for Pets. And they've got a plus-size clothing sale and drive. It's at the Red Label Bar and Lounge. I'm not familiar with the place, but it's a 12-hour event, and there's no reason not to go down there. So you can either drop plus-size clothes off, or you can actually pick up some new stuff. I know she's got lots of new stuff over there, and I think they start at size 14, I think. And I know you can get a bite to eat while you're there, so definitely go down there. They're helping pets in need. Their other company, Printing for Pets, let me tell you, fantastic printing services. 1,000 business cards, $20. Cannot beat that. So you can also find them on Facebook too. The Thread Up fundraising event for the Diggity Dachshund Rescue is up and running on their Facebook page. And basically, it's clean out your closet, order a bag. The bag comes for free. You fill it up with new or nearly new, in amazing condition clothing and shoes, and then you mail it back for free. And then they actually give us money for the clothes that show up for the rescue. So that's a great event. Our rescue of the week, well, it's not our rescue of the week. Our organization of the week, of course, is the Community Cat Coalition of Clark County. And let's scroll a little bit further down. Next week, I've got on the show, I've got Desiree anyway coming on the show from Doggy Do-Overs. So you get to know about what she's doing. Think about Goodwill for Pets. And that's essentially the kind of organization she's put together. So we're talking about gently used and new items you no longer want that belong to your pets. And you get to, she got drop-off locations, and she resells them for money for rescue. I think it's a great concept. You know, people are so creative these days.
Yes, they are.
It's amazing. And I say she's got the great printing company. Same thing. She donates back. And what we like to say at the end of the show as we get close is remember that you can either help a pet in need, either rescue, adopt, donate, share, or trap, neuter, release, return. We need to add that one in now. Rescue your next family member. Make sure it's got fur. Replace the word shop with adopt, and always be kind to all animals. So I want to thank my fantastic guest today. It's just been fabulous having you on the show. Let's have you on again, because I know you're going to hit another big, mark, as far as helping these cats. And a big thank you to Chris, who makes the show run smoothly. And, of course, to the listeners for being part of the show every week. And you've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about Vegas, rock and roll, and dogs, and cats today. And I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And remember, always kiss your pets. Good morning, good night, and all in between. Thanks for being on the show, Keith. It's been great.
All right.
We're going to be friends. You just know it. I know it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're just going to be fun. Yeah, just don't come to any parties with me. You'll never get home till 4 a.m. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a rocking weekend.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.